Hi, Katharina here, and I want to talk about the clarity journey. You can imagine that clarity in the beginning is like a very special, careful, cautious little deer. And for the deer to come out into the open, it needs to feel safe. And it will watch the surroundings if there's any danger, if there are hunters, if there are scary animals. And when something is cracking, the deer disappears. Same with our clarity. In the beginning of our clarity journey, we have moments where we feel very clear, we know exactly who we are connected to our vision. And sometimes just a few seconds later, or a few minutes or hours later, the clarity is gone, the high is gone, we're back in the fogginess, and we start doubting ourselves. And we think that the clarity was an illusion and that we should give up on our dreams. And we judge ourselves for the fogginess. It's like, if I was really meant to do this, I wouldn't feel so foggy. I wouldn't forget who I am. I wouldn't lose this again and again. And who am I to do this brilliant stuff if I fall again and again and back into the fogginess? So this is what happens. Remember times as a child or as a young adult where you were absolutely clear about your perception or your desires, your wants, and people maybe were making fun of you, laughing about what you wanted, belittling you. And that's a very painful experience because as a child, we usually operate from an open heart. So we say something like, why do the animals need to suffer? And can't we buy food for the whole population on this planet? And I want to have all the toys, and I want to be friends with this and this and this and this kid. And when we want this, we're completely and fully present. And our heart is in it. It's like, yes, this is so good. Why can't you see this? And I really, really, really want this. And I really, really, really love this. I really, really love you. And so we are fully, fully into the game. And when people start making fun of us or judge us or don't see the brilliance or try to make us small, it's not about that they don't like the picture, say, this is not a good drawing. It's usually a bigger things like, who are you to draw, or forget it. So we are taught that not what we do is not good enough, but who we are is not good enough. And if we get this message that who we are is not good enough, our heart closes down. It even closes down when we think our picture is not good enough because the picture was made with love. The idea to stop killing animals is made from love. So we learn to mistrust our perceptions, we learn to mistrust our passion, and we take it personal. So if we think my picture is not good enough, my idea to save the world is not good enough, we learn to interpret it as we are not good enough. We don't have what it takes to be a visionary. We don't have what it takes to make this planet a more beautiful place. And with all these things, there's a lot of shame involved. Because if we do something wholeheartedly, and we are not seen, we're not acknowledged with this energy, we close down. We close down as a person. And that's the reason why it is so difficult to find our clarity, because we are actually in a process of reversing the journey and start listening to these little voices who are still present. Like we have wounds, we have creative wounds, and there's scar tissue on these experiences or over these experiences, but we can still listen to the little voice. So in the moments where we are clear, there is no hunter out there. Like the deer can come out and we are relaxed, and we don't expect too much. We can just observe the deer and its energy. And the difficulty is when we like jump out to the meadow and scream at the deer. It's like, where have you been? And grow faster and be stronger and do more. And why are you so complicated? And why are you so scared? This is not going to work. The deer will go back into the forest, of course. So what's happening is when we are in this process, which I call the battle, like we are battling with our fears to be hurt again when we show up wholeheartedly. When we're in this battle, we get into touch with the scar tissue. And if the pain is like too intense, the fogginess sets in. So it's so important that you are kind to yourself. And maybe you can remember this picture, that your clarity in the beginning is like the small little deer, which is super, super careful and doesn't know if it's strong enough to face big challenges. And the kinder you are, or the kinder we are, and the more patience we have with the deer, and the more we create surroundings for this deer to find trust again, the stronger it becomes, and it gets bigger and it gets bigger, and our clarity can grow into a blazing dinosaur who will lead the path because the clarity is so strong. And finding our clarity is always, always a healing journey, because we won't have our clarity as long as we haven't healed from our creative wounds and from the illusion that we are not good enough. So this is what is happening. You are in the battle with your illusion, with the trance. Trance? What's the word? Trance? It's like a sorcerer put us under a spell. And we're waking up from the spell. We are fighting with the spell. That's the battle, that's the fogginess. So when you're in the fog, the spell is working. When you're clear, the spell has lifted and you know exactly who you are. It's a very normal process, so don't judge yourself for it. And when your clarity is there, treat it gently, invitingly, lovingly, welcome it, and make the conditions pleasant for your clarity to have more and more trust and to grow stronger and stronger. So I hope this was helpful. Keep flowing, it's so worth it. Much love, Katharina.